All right, welcome back to Lane Switching. Today I have my guest, none other than OTG Stiffy. Welcome to the OMIG. Thank you for being here today.
No worries.
So let's just get it started. Just tell us a little bit about your upbringing and just life before music.
Life before music, I was a good kid.
Yeah.
You know, I was limited by the beliefs of my surroundings. I didn't think I could become anything, and it wasn't until like I started doing music where I thought I could be more than just what everyone else told me I could be. You know what I mean? But before I was just a regular kid going to school, going to work, and then life happens and you deal with other shit. But
Of course.
essentially, I don't really have a special upbringing, to be completely honest.
Just grew up a regular kid in Ottawa.
Literally.
And what was it like growing up in Ottawa and starting your life out here?
It's funny you ask me these questions. Like nobody has asked me who I was before music.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I realized this city's full of hate. Like it's like whenever I did have something I wanted to do, everyone would just always hate on it. So I just learned to not talk about my plans, my goals,
Yeah.
and just to actually just do them instead. Because whenever I talk about something I'm willing to do or something that I really want to do, people will just always have an opinion on it, and I don't really need to hear anyone else's opinion.
No, fair enough. And I think something that's different about our city than a lot of everyone else out in Canada, wherever you are, is that because we're so small, everyone to a certain extent thinks they know each other.
Yeah,
And so when somebody sees you from the same neighborhood and the same community doing better than them or succeeding in something that if they didn't have if they had the confidence, they would do.
yeah.
So a lot of people, they see, you know what I mean, somebody in their community doing well and they just kind of are jealous.
I think it's like that in everyone's home city. So whether
Yeah.
you're from Toronto, Hamilton, God knows where, Calgary, who knows. I feel like people will just always hate on someone that comes from their own city because they come from the same background, yet that person has been able to achieve a lot more than they have.
Yeah.
So I just honestly asking about my life before, it was just a shock to me because nobody's really asked about that. So I don't really have like too much to say
No,
about it.
that's fair. That's fair. And getting into the music, why did you start making music?
It started as an ego thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I see my friends freestyling, blah blah blah. And I I tried it. At first obviously I wasn't good. People made fun of me for it. They said, "Yo, just don't do it. You can't do it." And not that it hurt me, but I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean I can't do it? Of course I can do it." And I just learned it. I went to the studio countless hours. I wrote at home. Whatever I had to do to understand how to make music properly, I did it. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to. It was just a challenge. I like a challenge, and that's all it was for me. It was just an ego thing. And then people started liking it, actually fucking with it, and I guess I just continued.
Yeah. And you've always been a part of when releasing music, it's OTG. So what is OTG and who are the members?
So it's only the gang. You have me and Reese. Those are the main two artists, pretty much like the CEOs of OTG.
Yeah.
But we have our camp. We have our little circle of friends that roll around with us. Um, Obviously, they don't carry the OTG in their name, but they're still part of the gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's only the gang. We're not necessarily gangsters. I'm not saying that's who we are, but it's just a abbreviation.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a group. And so a lot of people, just similar as OTF, you don't see them on the camera and they're
Yeah,
not doing the entertainment side, they're doing
exactly,
the business side, but they're
exactly,
just as important.
exactly. Pretty much, there's a lot of people behind the scenes, or have been a lot of people behind the scenes.
And you obviously on the track with Carver and Gigi on Southside Simplified. What is your opinion right now on the state of Southside hip hop in Ottawa?
This is my personal opinion on Ottawa music in general. So I realize that the South makes catchier music. Like you know, they're less about lyricism and more about just like trying to make a turn up track. They
Yeah.
talk less about their pain. They talk they make less meaningful songs. Not that it's a bad thing, but they make more songs that are like catchy, bumpy. Stuff people want to listen to no matter what their mood is. And then you have the West Side who makes music that's like about their pain, about their suffering. I realize that it's like everyone from the West has like the same style, not exactly, but they talk about their past, their life. And in the South, they just talk about drills, having fun, partying. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And do you think the East has as well their own style?
The East, I think the East gets the least amount of recognition, not because they're bad or anything, but just because I realize that the East is the most hateful part of Ottawa, believe it or not.
Mm,
Um, People in the West, they show love. People in the South, they show love. But the East, they're too stuck in their old ways. And I feel like right now they're starting to understand that they could be a part of the music movement too.
most
But
definitely.
I'll tell you though, the East are the biggest haters when it comes to Ottawa music.
Mm,
I'll tell you that they make fun of everyone.
mm.
Yeah,
And I guess when it comes down to it, like everyone's gonna have their section, everyone's gonna have their people
yeah,
they work with, but to grow, you're gonna obviously have to step out of your comfort zone.
pretty
And
much. The East is a bit behind because they kind of made it that way. They would always hate on everyone else doing music, and just now they're starting to pop out with rappers, which is good. You know,
yeah,
every ends has its own rappers.
for sure. Do you think there will be a change where we'll see people from different ends kind of go out of their comfort zone, whether it's West End not always being melodic or South Side not always being turn up songs? You think that's just how it's always gonna be?
No, it will change. It's just like when you talk about the West, you think of the two three rappers that come to your head. You talk about the South, you think the same thing. Two three rappers come to your head. Talk about the East, and the style is kind of based on those two three guys that you
Yeah,
automatically assume. But one day one rapper might come out and he may change the whole game for the South. You know what I mean? Or
for sure.
vice versa for the West.
So you've obviously worked with quite a few big names in the city. Who have been some of your favorite people so far to collab with?
What do you mean? Like
Just music wise, whether it's like guys you featured with, whether it's Carver or whether it's Gigi, or you made tracks with Swisha T and Bizloke, and
that's a good question. Who's my favorite? I've enjoyed making songs with Gigi. I've I think Gigi's like the only feature I've ever like been in the studio with. Like we recorded the song together in the studio.
that's dope.
Other than him, I think everyone else just kind of sent me their verse afterwards. Like I didn't really know like how it felt to work with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, strictly business.
Yeah, it was strictly business, pretty much. But me and Gigi do have like a relationship. Yeah, so like I pulled up to the studio session. He recorded his verse.
Yeah, and to
You
be
know,
honest, I
and honest, same thing for honest. I
yeah,
think every track we've released with him, he was in the studio with us. But
sick.
any other track we've released, like with Bizlock, yeah, he was in the studio with us, but it was business. You know what I mean? Swisha T, he sent me his verse. Who was he talking about? What did I do tracks with?
I mean, obviously Carver was on the Southside
Carver
Simplified.
sent me his verse. Yeah,
Yeah,
Carver sent me his verse. But I fuck with that guy. Um, yeah, no, Archie. I don't know if you saw. Me and Reese did a track with Archie from
yep,
3M.
yep.
That guy was with us in the studio, but it was also strictly business. You know.
Yeah,
But yeah, most people were just strictly business.
but I think kind of developing a relationship beyond the music with someone, I think honestly makes the music better.
Yeah, one
And I
hundred
think
percent.
like when you look at the track Honest, like you and obviously everyone OTG plus Gigi Chevy,
Yeah,
it snaps because
the chemistry is good.
exactly,
Yeah, it was
exactly,
true. Yeah,
exactly. And who would you like to work with in the future?
from the city or
Anywhere, anywhere.
I really want to collab with UK artists. Like
For real.
I don't even have that much of an interest with the states, to be honest. But I'm a huge fan of UK music, and I'm looking at artists like M Honcho, D Block Europe, uh, Band OK. Like I love these artists. Like I would love to collab with them.
For sure.
Pretty much, if my goal is to touch base with the UK, I couldn't care less about the states.
Yeah. And
UK
that,
has yeah, UK has more of a loyal fan base.
yeah, for real. And
Yeah,
they've been obviously it's like they started in the 2010s, similar time as Chicago Drill came out, but the wave that they've created lately, especially with if you're talking about OFB or if you're talking about Tion Wayne or all those guys, like they have such a movement
yeah,
and
they
such
do.
a great fan base that like even after their peak years are done, they're always going to be popular and they're
Yeah,
always going to
yeah,
keep touring and stuff.
100%.
Do you ever see in the future, whether it's at the CTC or maybe Lansdowne, do you ever see UK drill artists being able to come out here to perform in Ottawa?
100%. I think actually it should be pretty soon. Like I'm trying to make that happen. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, if I could, because I'm a show promoter too. I don't know if you know that. Like for example, when 3M French came and
Yeah.
Lil Brother, like I was the guy that brought them here. So them, like I'm really trying to branch out to the UK. It's just hard to get a hold of someone that has like connections to all these rappers.
Yeah.
I know people here that have connections to all these Toronto rappers. That's why I can get a hold of them and bring them to Ottawa. But just trying to find that one connection that knows all the UK rappers, that's what I'm struggling to find. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it happen. Trust me.
In due time, for sure. You've dabbled in other genres like EDM.
Yeah.
Are you more concentrated right now on finding your own unique sound, or do you still think you're going to be dabbling in other genres right now?
Bro, I'll dabble with anything. Like music is fun to me. Whatever's fun. Like I know music is a business. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really treat music exactly like a business.
Yeah.
To me, it's more of a hobby. I do other shit, But to make music like my main thing, it's not that I don't see it ever happening. But if it happens, great. And if it doesn't, I don't really care. It's not like I'm not hoping I make it out one day. You know what I mean? So EDM is fun to me. Um, Rap is fun to me. Whatever's fun, I'll do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If you lose the fun in music, then your music won't be good.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
That's 100% accurate. And like, I think whether you make it or not, whatever making it is in the
Like
definition to you, whatever. I
some
think,
rappers may consider their first million views as making it. Sure.
yeah.
I'll tell you right now, having a million views isn't that special. It
No,
doesn't pay as
no,
much as you think either.
no, not at all.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Like it's fun to do it.
Of
It's nice.
course, of course. And that's the thing, you have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's almost every interview I've said now. It's like, if you're doing this for the money or for the attention or because you can't get girls, just quit
Pretty
because
much.
it's not for you. Like, it
Literally.
really isn't for you.
Literally.
Speaking about other artists, what other artists have you actually been listening to lately besides obviously like UK?
To be honest, UK, bro. That's what I've been listening to mainly. Like honestly, New York drill and UK drill are my genre. They have been my genre forever. Like I just got into the UK about 2 years ago, but before that, I was just listening to New York drill. Like New York has always been the city that I fuck with the most when it came to music, and of course I fuck with Toronto. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Toronto, UK, and New York. Those are the three places I listen to.
Are there any notable names in New York that you listen to the
I,
most frequently?
I've been really fucking with Curly Sav. Uh, Obviously the Woo movement.
Yeah, pop.
Pop, Favi. Uh,
Do you like 22Gs?
do I like sorry?
22Gs?
Yeah, I like 22Gs. Coach the Ghost.
Yeah.
Pretty much the opposite end of the Woos. Yeah. I like them all, bro. I like them all. Like I'm really in tune with New York Joe.
That's dope. So in 2020, you dropped Stiff Minded with features like Swisha T and Bizloke. When do you plan on dropping your next project, mixtape, EP, whatever? And what do you think is going to be the theme?
Honestly, I not that I regret dropping that tape, but I'm listening to it now. I'm like, holy fuck, man, the guy sucked. And I'm like, yo, like you just get better. You're always gonna think that.
Of
You're gonna
course.
get better. You're gonna look at your old music and be like, wow, it sucks. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep dropping singles till if I blow up, I blow up. If I blow up, then it's good to drop a tape because it only makes sense. Who's gonna listen to me now if I drop a tape? No one's gonna give a fuck.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So you drop single after single, one blows up. Once you get that like tension, that
That
momentum,
buzz, yeah.
then drop a tape. Then you'll get money from streams. Then it's gonna be worth it. You get streams in bulk. Right now, it doesn't make sense to drop a tape. But I do have tracks that can fill up maybe 3 tapes.
Yeah. And what's your process behind dropping a single, whether it's the marketing or just the timing?
I don't. I just drop it. Honestly, like if there's a song that's I'm like from now on, I'm only gonna drop tracks that I really like no mediocre tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I really like the track, I'll shoot a video for it. The process itself is annoying. You like the track, you gotta buy the beat, you gotta mix it, master it. Then after that, you gotta shoot the video. By the way, this process is not in order. Sometimes you shoot the video before you mix it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you gotta shoot the video, post it on all platforms, but that takes like 2-3 weeks depending on your distributor. So you can't just drop something the next day if you want to. You gotta actually plan it. And then
Most stuff.
if you want to promote it on YouTube and whatnot, you gotta make sure the track is clean, which sometimes ruins the essence of the track if you clean it up. So I just honestly, I'm experimenting with different things. I've done YouTube promotion before. I've done Instagram promotion. There's not really a process that I go through. Just make sure the video is shot and it's ready to be dropped. And I don't drop it on my personal channel. I always drop it on other people's channels.
And do you think that every single needs visuals, or if it's good enough, or if the fans fuck with it enough that almost...
When was the last time a rapper blew up and didn't have a video for the song?
That's true.
You know
That's
what
true.
I mean? If the song blows up, it's because there is a video. No one's gonna like, if someone's discovering a rapper, no one's gonna look at a cover photo for 2.5 minutes trying to see if the song is sick. No, they're gonna look at the video. The video's 2.5 minutes. They're gonna watch the whole video, right? So you need a video for your single if you're planning on blowing up. If you're just releasing singles and no music video for it, it's not gonna go anywhere. Unless it's the EDM shit.
Fair. True.
Yeah.
So whether it's where you grew up or the people you hang out with, or even just like artists and music you listen to, what do you think is your biggest influence?
Just a mix of. I don't really have an influence like that. Like, what are you talking about? Like music in general?
Yeah, just who
50 Cent. 50 Cent. I'll easily say 50 Cent.
And would you say it's his persona, or it's just how he changed the game?
Because he's a businessman. This guy never needed to make it off from music
No.
to be rich. He already had money, and that's kind of like, he made music because it was fun. He made music because he didn't have to make music.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So if you wake up in the morning and you have to go to work and you fucking hate your life, you're going to work because you have to go to work. You know what I mean? But if you don't have to work, then work is a lot more fun when you do it.
Of course.
So this guy already had money and he's just making music just to make it, and he made it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, music is just there. It's a hobby. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I want to be. Like, 50 Cent is a businessman before he's a musician.
For sure.
And I think that's what I consider myself.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And especially out here in Ottawa, where the money isn't, serious when it comes to the music. I think it's good to have side hustles. It's good to have other sources of income, because
music
you're not
should
gonna...
be the side hustle. That's the thing. That's what rappers in Ottawa are not understanding, is that if you think you're gonna get paid a lot from music, it doesn't work like that at all. Actually,
No.
it doesn't work like that at all. Like, you need to really be popping to start making, like, I don't know what people consider successful. If they're happy with 10 bands a month, to me that's not successful. That's a regular 100K a year type of person. You know what I mean? To me, successful is making 10 to 30K a week type of thing, and you're not gonna get that with music. Trust me. 1 million views will barely get you paid $6,000.
Yeah.
And that's if you get 1 million views in one day. That's 6,000. You know what I mean? But people get that 1 million views in like the course of 2-3 months minimum of streams. So you're getting bits and pieces here and there. You get what I'm trying to say? Music won't get paid, and music won't get you paid that much. You got to do other things, and you can make the other things related to music. But to simply think you're gonna make a living off music, you're a long way from that. Like, a really long way. Like, Ottawa's a really long way from that. Toronto just got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much.
And a lot of people, they say, especially like guys who've made it to serious A-list level in music, they say you have to put all of your energy and all your focus into music to make it work. Do you really believe that's true when it comes to making it to the top?
No, I don't believe that's true. Because the people that are actually at the top, they're businessmen before they were musicians. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Birdman, like all these guys that are like, they don't make music anymore. Rick Ross, all these people that don't make music anymore, but were popping at music. These guys were all like businessmen before they were rappers. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They took rapping as an opportunity to make money off of it. If you want to be successful, you have to have 8 streams of income. If you simply focus on music, it's not gonna go anywhere.
No.
Like, you're gonna go broke trying to make music. Like, music, to actually make it, you can make it. If you put all your focus on music, you can make it. But be ready to spend like 200 bands in the span of a year, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, you wanna make it off music. You gotta spend 20K on promo when you drop a music video. Literally,
Yeah.
like you wanna pay a TikTok star to do a dance to your video, bro. Be ready to pay 3 bands.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like it's not cheap to make it off music, but you can make it off music if you just have fun with it and just keep going consistently. Some people you'll grow a fan base slowly, but to expect to make a living off of it quick, it's never gonna happen.
So we're entering now I'll say, last quarter of the year. What can we expect for you from the rest of 2022, and what do you have planned going into 2023?
That's a good question. I don't even know myself. Just, again, bro, music is just something I do for fun.
Yeah.
I don't actually take this very seriously. I don't even need to make it off music. I'll be completely honest. I'm not depending on it. So whenever I do a track and I really like it, fuck it, I'll just release it. That's literally it. That's my only plan.
That's fair. And even though it's really just a hobby for you and it's just something that gives you enjoyment, are you consistent or just kind of sporadic when it comes to going to the studio?
Here's the thing, like if I'm not dropping for a while, it's because I don't have nothing for you to drop. Like I said, I have so many tracks. I can make 3 mixtapes off of it. But if it's not a track I truly believe that can bop, I am not gonna release it. So I will keep going to the studio until I think, wow, this song is actually a hit. Then I'll release it. Which is why I'm not consistent. If you guys really want me to be consistent, I'll drop a bunch of mediocre tracks and you guys may or may not fuck with it, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to disappoint anyone. I'm not looking like I do have people that actually bump my music.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna give them something, I'll give them something good. I'm not gonna give them something mediocre.
Yeah. And you've been doing music long enough, you've released enough visuals that you can kind of have higher standards in comparison to these up and coming guys where it's like, if it doesn't meet your standards, it's just not coming out. It's staying in the vault.
That's actually exactly what it is. My music, it's hard to meet my own standards with my own music nowadays because I'm like, wow, I'm a lot better than this. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? I'll tell you that maybe out of 10 tracks I make, maybe one is actually a really good track.
That's fair.
I'm my own biggest critic. I don't even think I'm that good of a rapper, to be completely honest. Not that I'm insecure or anything. It just doesn't meet my standards. Like if I can release mediocrity. Sorry, my voice cracked.
No worries.
But then it's like, who am I competing with? I'm competing with people that aren't releasing mediocrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're releasing good songs, and that's all I want to release. Just good music. Can't keep releasing mediocre shit. It just won't work.
And I think you have to be critical of yourself. I mean, there's so many people in music, doesn't matter Ottawa, just anywhere in the world, they're so delusional. Is they'll drop a few tracks or they'll drop an EP or they'll have like 1 year where they go very consistent, but most of their stuff is not very good.
It's not.
And they'll look back at it and be like, oh man, if you only were listening to me back in 2018 or this year or that year. And it's like,
that's what Stiff Minded is to me, the EP I dropped.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm like, wow, like my friends are fake. They didn't tell me this sucked.
No, but even myself, I look back at interviews and I think everyone I've interviewed, they have a story to tell, and I'm very interested in hearing what they say. And I think the people are very interested to hear, what they said, besides obviously just their music and what they say in their music. But I look back at my interviews and I look back at myself repeating words or saying the same thing, and I'm like, fuck, David, that's horrible. Like, you got to retake that. But at the end of the day, it's all about progress and it's all about getting better. And a lot of people, it's like they spend hours and, thousands of dollars in the studio and then never release anything.
Pretty much.
And that's just as bad as being delusional or not being critical of your own music.
Pretty much, yeah. Like some people, they'll spend, like this is how I treat music with complete honesty. Like people will go out to the club on weekends. They'll spend 3-4 bills, I don't know, at a booth buying bottles. I don't fucking know what they like to do on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'd rather spend that 3-4 bills, even if I'm never gonna get that money back. It's better spent in the studio, doing something that I actually enjoy, rather than spending it at the club and never seeing that money again. Just fucking, just drinking myself just to have a good time. Like that's not me, I don't go out like that. So for me, I'd rather spend 3-4 bills at the studio, even if I'm not gonna get it back, because I was never looking at it as a business investment.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it as something I do for fun.
Yeah.
Just like how people go to the club for fun, me going to the studio is something I do for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think when you're spending all this money at the clubs and stuff like that. Yeah, of course it's fun, but I mean, there's no return. And at least with music, it's
Yeah,
more than just the money return, but it's just the enjoyment of being a creator.
exactly, exactly. There's no creativity at the club. There's no creativity when you go out.
No.
You just People are just going there to escape what? Escape
Yeah.
their fucking meaningless lives. That's how. Like, I'm sorry for whoever's insulted,
Yeah.
but that's the reality of it. So if I'm gonna do something fun, I'll make sure it's beneficial for me
Most
long
definitely.
term. Even if I don't get anything from it, I'm going there with the expectations that I'm never gonna make it off music. But it doesn't matter because music for me is fun.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And I think you can still enjoy something. You can enjoy making music. You can enjoy being a producer, an athlete, whatever, and be about your business.
Pretty much. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's really important. So that was our OTG Stiffy interview. That was OTG Stiffy. I'm DF2. That's lane switching. Peace.
Peace.